All right, let's move to the cornerback spot. Of course, we got Renardo Green. He's gone. Fentrell Cypress coming in with 40 tackles after, of course, he transferred in from Virginia. So we'll start right there.
Yeah, let's go. Yeah, cornerbacks have had a phenomenal start, Mark, to fall camp. Where I'm glad that this is like how I think we should almost do it here a little bit. Jump into a week of fall camp, get some little tidbits of what's cooking, because right now what's cooking is Azrae Thomas and Fentrell Cypress. And I really like that Fentrell Cypress is making that jump. I thought Azrae had a really great spring, but now he's bringing that over to fall camp, and Fentrell's doing the same thing. Those are two cornerbacks that you would like to see locked and loaded after you just said you lost some studs at the cornerback position because Brian Jones was jumped in there as well, kind of more in the nickel, but jumped over to cornerback and played a lot of games over there as well. Ronaldo Green, like you said, over there with the 49ers balling right now too in San Francisco. So Azrae Thomas and Fentrell Cypress are being looked at as a big time season for them. And Azrae Thomas, getting that solidified starting spot. We know that natural attributes, his brother being in the league as well. I just, phenomenal start to camp from those two. And you got to look at some of the younger guys that might want to jump in and get a little piece of the pie as well. Like a Quindarius Jones, who I'm stupid high on. That kid he wasn't talked about a ton in his recruitment. Just nobody really knew of him. Let's just be honest. Nobody really knew of him. And Florida State threw him a offer, and he committed not too much longer. Quindarius Jones, Edwin Joseph, Jabril Rawls, Earl Little Jr. too, coming in from Alabama for that nickel position, replacing Greedy Vance, going to USC. There's a lot. Charles Lester has supposedly had a really good start to fall camp too. Former 5-star cornerback commits. So there's this is another room where you're just gifted with talent under Coach Surtain. He's done a great job in that recruiting room, and here you go. You just got to let them develop. And it's Azrae Thomas and Fentrell Cypress time. And I'd like to see Fentrell. He didn't have a bad season last year by any means. He didn't have a bad one, but takeaways is what we're gonna want to look at more for him, and he can get drafted this upcoming season.
So does Kevin Knowles have the nickelback spot locked up, or is there some kind of battle there?
Kevin is in an interesting spot because he was already going to be behind Greedy Vance in the nickel position. Then you have Earl Little Jr. coming in from Alabama, and Greedy Vance just goes ahead and hits the transfer portal. And I think it's because he saw that he was going to have trimmed up playing time at the nickel position over Earl Little Jr. I really like Greedy Vance, and I'm a big fan of him, and he's going to ball over there at USC because he's going to get more 100% playing time over there. It's just because Earl Little Jr. was going to come in and compete now with Kevin Knowles. And Knowles, from what I've heard, is at a nice, decent start to camp. And the biggest thing with him is just putting himself in the right positions. And that's something that he's lacked in the last year or so. He's also been dealing with injury, too. And we thought very highly of him in his freshman year just because he was putting himself in the right position to make plays. But I think it's Earl Little Jr. here, to be honest with you, Mark, unless anything goes crazy. But it's a battle to watch. That's another battle that we're watching this fall camp. Who's going to take that nickel position? I just lean Earl Little Jr. right now. The staff must really like Earl Little if it got Greedy Vance to jump into that transfer portal.
And then Logan, at safety, Devontae Brown may not be a starter, but obviously he's going to be a key backup if he doesn't get a starting spot. He's coming in after starting 31 times at UCF. So break down the safeties for us.
Yeah, this last position here for Florida State on the defensive side, Shaheem Brown is going to be your star here. He's kind of be your strong safety for the most part. Just depends on what kind of combo you're going to be putting with him. But I really like Conrad Hussey being on the other side with him. Like you said, Devontae Brown is someone that maybe is coming to a little bit of a surprise as of the spring and fall camp of showing some consistency of showing out and having flashes. And really physical safety as well. I think I was told yesterday, just laid out. I think it was a tight end or a big size wide receiver. I don't want to say the name, but put a licking on him, and he comes in with a lot of physicality. Shaheem Brown, you have that same kind of play style as him. Shaheem Brown to me is really smart, and he just naturally understands where he needs to be east to west on the field, and that's exactly what you need from a safety like that. Or if he needs to come down, he will. But I'd rather know that, hey, they're going deep ball. they're going deep post. I need you right over there to look over. And he's made some big time plays with some PBUs in his career at Florida State, and he's turned into a leader, vocal guy. I'm a big Shaheem Brown fan. I think he's going to have a strong season. There's some other guys too, like Ashlyn Barker and KJ Kirkland too. I'm keeping an eye on as well. But this room is really looking for who's going to go next to Shaheem Brown, and I really like Conrad Hussey. He made some plays last year. We know that, but then there were some inconsistencies. But that was from a true freshman, man. And it's hard to be critical on that. That's good if he's taking the criticism and learning from it, and I think he is. But I think FSU's in a such better spot if Conrad Hussey takes that next jump and he's next to Shaheem Brown, in my opinion. This is I think it's his time. It's just funny to say that because he's just going into his true sophomore season. But FSU would be in a way better place defensively in the defensive backfield with Conrad Hussey taking the next step and being alongside with Shaheem Brown. But there's other guys that can come in and do their thing if they need be. But I like the safety room quite a bit. And it was a little bit more questionable going into the spring, but I feel better and feel a lot more comfortable this fall camp, Mark.